Hi everyone, it's Aish again and welcome to another Classicals YouTube video. Today I'm going to be embroidering on a t-shirt. I've been getting a lot of these inquiries on how can I successfully embroider on a stretchy fabric, and I figured that instead of showing you guys how to do it on just a piece of cloth or a baby romper, which I've done before, I thought I would just do it straight away on a shirt that I could possibly even wear in the next YouTube video. This is one of my own shirts at home, and I think one of the coolest things of having an embroidery machine at home with you is that you can go buy these really cool things on the internet or from your local stores, and then you can just make it super special and personal by using embroidery motifs on your embroidery machine. Today I'm going to be embroidering on a Bernina 590 Plus. It is a mid-range Bernina and it's got both sewing and embroidery capabilities. I'm going to be using a bit of pinpoint placement. I'm going to be using a bunch of different colored threads, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to embroider a nice design right across the chest area. And I'm going to sort of beautify my t-shirt. I hope you guys are ready for this tutorial. That was my stabilizer. I hope you guys are ready for this tutorial. Let's get into the details. Alright, so before I get into hooping this product, I just wanted to show you first of all where I want to place the design. The design is the letter A. It's my first letter of my first name, and I want to place like about a 4-inch design. If you look at that, it's pretty much going to occupy a very good area of the shirt. I don't want it to go too close to the armpit, so usually whenever I do an embroidery on the shirt, I kind of always take the measurement from this area. I would say it's the point where the shoulder meets the neck, and that's always going to be like an indicator. If you can see, that's around, this is kind of how we do it. So, I mean, this is my rule of thumb, guys. So anywhere that's, say, about 7 inches, and then from the button you want to take not the top area because that'll be too high up, but anywhere between the last 2 buttons would be like a very good area. So this would be a very good rough approximate middle of my design, right? So if I assume this, I'm just going to put this here. So if I'm able to assume 7 inches from there and 3.5, so suppose this is my midpoint, I'm just going to approximately see, like, am I okay with this design being like this, 4 inches by around 4 inches. For me that looks pretty fine. A little hack that I do as well, in case you're a first time embroiderer, is your digitizing software, or you could just actually print out the design on a piece of paper and place it there and see if you like it. When you're new and you're not very sure of measurements and size, this is something I would recommend. So let me show you what it would look like for me to print the design and place it over here, just to get an idea of whether I like the position of this design in its actual size for my embroidery areas. Just hold on, I'm going to get that sorted. Today I'm actually going to be embroidering this design, and I hope you guys can have a good look at it. This is actually printed to size. I've been using the Bernina embroidery software to get this sorted out, and the software has a really nice feature where once you've set the design size, it kind of gives you so much of information. I'm trying to see if I can explain this to you really well. So when I take a printout, it tells me how many stitches, how many colors, the design height, the width. It even measures the center of the design and even different points of reference in case on the machine I want to refer to a different point for my placement. My most comfortable for this particular design for the shirt is going to be in the middle. When you are a newbie embroiderer, I always recommend everyone to take a printout of their design, because if you don't know what it's going to visually look like on your garment, and if you're doing something like a shirt, sometimes you don't know whether your logo is too high, too low, exactly where you want it. So you can print out something like this, and then you can just cut around this and then place it and pin it. You can even wear your shirt, see if you like what it looks like, and accordingly adjust top to bottom. When you have this kind of machines at your home, you have the ability to get really detailed with how you customize. It's very different from when you go to a factory and then they embroider the same size and the same position across many surfaces. Here you get to totally narrow down on how exactly you want it for the way your shirt fits you. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this around now and show you where I'm going to place it. And according to that, I'm going to mark my design center, which is going to be the middle of this design. Then I'm going to go ahead and stabilize the garment, hoop my t-shirt, put it on the machine, USB transfer the design, and then go ahead and embroider it. So I really hope that by the time you get to the end of this video, you find these steps kind of easy to follow, because I often find that when I talk to a client about these different steps, all the information gets so overloaded that they freak out that embroidery is quite complicated. But when you actually do it, you see it is a really, really easy to do process, and it's actually a lot of fun once you get used to it. So I'm going to go ahead and cut around, and then I'm going to show you what's going to happen next. It is going to be somewhere here, which is absolutely pretty fine for me. Okay. The only other thing I want to make sure so I don't make a mistake is, you see, I want the A to be pretty straight, and this fabric is going to stretch. So I like to have that line as a marking indicator. Do you know when we were in school and they used to make us write our alphabets on a line so that we write everything in a straight line? I kind of like using these tapes. These are we call these masking tapes. I don't know what you guys call it in different parts of the world. It's just a basic paper tape. Alright, and it doesn't really stick too much on your garment. If you're embroidering on satin or like delicate materials, just be careful of your choice of tape. This works pretty fine for me, alright? So I just want to make sure, the reason why I did that was I don't want my A to be this way or that way or not exactly straight, because then you can tell, right? But if I have that here, which I've done parallel to this line here, you see, it just works. It's all math, it's parallelism, etc., etc. I have now taped my A onto the fabric because I wanted to actually show you how I stabilize this garment. Now, whenever you're working with something that is stretchy, before you put any form of stabilizer, you have to compensate for stretch. I've seen this even happen in the store when they're making memory quilts. They compensate for the stretch and the different weights of the garment by having a stabilizer on the back. Now, because this is embroidery and I do not want the stabilizer to last forever, specifically because it's a white shirt, if I iron on a stabilizer on the back, guys, you're going to see that square, and that's kind of ugly in my opinion. So I actually have a stabilizer that I obsessively use, and I've definitely shown it to you in previous YouTube videos. It is the water soluble sticky stabilizer. This is sold by Sulky. Sulky stabilizers are such good quality stabilizers that I just do my embroidery eyes closed, knowing that things are perfectly fine with this one. And I recommend, if you're struggling to find a good stabilizer wherever you are in the world, just check out this brand. So the reason why I stuck the alphabet there is because I have to put this one on the wrong side of the garment. So I'm going to flip it. Because I stuck it, I can actually feel it and see where that paper is. Because you need to cover that stretchy area over the entire surface of the design. Can't have it half and half or quarter and whatever, right? So if you can see, this is where the design is, and I'm going to take this stabilizer, just peel it off, and then I'm just going to stick it in the area where that design is going to be. So it compensates for the stretch in my area of embroidery. That's it. I don't really care if it sticks extra because this is water soluble. So as much as I can cut after the first embroidery, I could just go dip the shirt in water, and then it's like I never used that stabilizer to even begin with. So now I'm going to flip the shirt back to the normal orientation. I have everything I need, my friends. I don't need to keep the A there anymore. I have the straight line to see that I'm going to hoop this straight. I have that marker to know the middle, and I know I'm going to center my design around that. So I'm actually quite confident, so I don't need this. If you are a beginner, you can continue having this on top. You can hoop over this just to make sure everything is the way you want it. But I like to trust a little bit in my marking skills, and one of the best ways for you to get more confident with embroidery sometimes is to not be 100% perfect. because then you always have something to get better towards. So try to be as approximate as you can be and confident with your measuring skills, and I'm very sure you're going to get a very solid result. So the next step is to hoop this. I'm going to go get the medium hoop, and I think that should be enough for me to like hoop this particular size. You know, a lot of customers, when they buy machines in our store, they keep asking for embroidery surface size. And honestly speaking, what I've come to observe is, apart from the midi hoop or the oval large hoop or the medium hoop, that's like the most used sizes of hoops. So whenever you buy a machine, as long as you get a small, medium, large, I think you're sorted for about 99% of all your embroideries. Now let's get into the hooping part, and then we're good to show you how it looks like on the machine. So guys, I just want to make sure that the A fits inside the medium hoop. And if you remember from my previous tutorial, kind of measure a finger from each side, which kind of allows for that the foot of the machine you need to have some space for that. So just make sure it's approximately there. I'm going to keep a bit of that line there to see the straightness, and I'm going to go ahead and hoop this. Alright, so we'll need that. I need to put this guy underneath. And then I'm going to use the stabilizer. Today I'm actually using the cutaway stabilizer, so it is just a little bit more reinforced. Cutaway stabilizer, the more you wash your garment, it becomes softer, so with some time you will actually do pretty fine. But trust me, if you're using tearaway, that's also okay. You just got to use 3 layers, I would recommend, for something like a stretchy t-shirt. So I put this here. Just make sure that the stabilizer is there. Okay. I'm going to take the top of the hoop. Now I just have to, there are actually markings on the hoop. I don't know if you guys can see this. I'm going to show it to you for a moment. Just check this out. I hope you guys can see this. So you see you've got a marker here, and then I've got a marker over here. If I'm able to align that with that tape, or if I'm not even able to, but if I'm able to use my measuring tape just to see whether that line is parallel to this marked line, the hooping is straight. Does that make sense to you guys? It makes so much sense in my head. Sometimes I feel like I need to explain it a little bit clearer for you guys to get the hang of it. Sorry. Today I'm doing the whole record yourself thing, so I really hope I'm able to nail this, right? Okay, so concept is, when I place the hoop here, just make sure that it is more towards the top side. So this is a good placement, right? So when I put this guy on top, if I take my measuring tape and measure along that line that I just showed you, and I look directly above the tape, it should be parallel to this tape line. Alright guys, I don't know if you can see this, but this line and this line, it's actually quite in line with the tape line, so that means my hoop is straight. Comprende? Does it make sense? If you have any questions regarding this, just drop a comment. I'm really happy to clarify this for you. I've got my design center, I've got the straight hoop. This thing is super tight, which is very important, stabilized on the back. I am now ready to go embroider. Let's do this. Hello, Bernina 590. Alright, this is the new 590, guys. And this is the embroidery module. And I don't know how many of you have seen the model that this baby replaced, but one of the biggest advancements of this, which is super cool for an embroiderer, is the free arm. The fact that the arm is free even in an embroidery setup. Previously in the old one, if I can show you, it used to be like the Brunette 79. You see there is no free arm in this one. The 580 has this setup, and when you turn it into something like this that has a free arm, it makes t-shirt embroidery a breeze, because actually it just makes any embroidery a breeze, because you've got the ability to just snag anything in there. I love the fact that you've got big bobbins, and I love the fact that everything is on a screen. It's so easy, like literally there are no buttons for me to push apart from like thread cutter or needle up down. Anyway, so I'm going to get into embroidery mode. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come to the home, and let me just get out of the screen. I don't know what it's telling me to do right now. I want to do embroidery. I have a USB in hand. I'm going to plug it to the side. This is so much fun to do when you're filming yourself. Okay, and I am going to then get into the embroidery pattern, and I'm going to pick my design. The first thing most people ask me, and I'm going to answer it right away, is are these the colors that I have to work with? And the answer is no. If I want to visually see what these colors can look like, I can actually change the colors here and see what does it look like to have a red border, a red filling, or a yellow outline. And if you come back to the design, you can see that. But end of the day, the machine is not going to tell you you've put a black thread where it's a red thread. It just analyzes that as a thread change. Okay, so there are a couple of things that I want to do. I know I'm working with the medium hoop, so I'm going to come to the hoop button and I'm going to select medium, right? And it's saying, oh, I got design too big, so I'm going to reduce it just a little bit so it fits. Do you guys remember the 20% rule? Never go less than 20%. There we go, that works. I'm not too particular about the size. If it was 4 inches and it's 3.8 inches, I don't mind. But if it really bothered me, I'd just go change the hoop. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of these toggles. Alright, so this one says the feed dog is still up. So I'm going to just push the button. It's to the side over here. So I do that. Feed dogs are down. Okay, I do not have a foot 26. I'm going to change that in a bit, but I'm still going to tell the machine that, honey, I'm using foot 26. Let me go change that right now. I don't want to lie to my machine. Should I change this to a straight stitch plate? Not necessary. It will work pretty fine. The fabric is very tightly wound, so you don't have to turn the plate around. But if you wanna, you can go for it, but I'm not gonna. Okay, that's done. Now, before I do anything in terms of adjusting size and position, I am going to calibrate. Calibration honestly happens when you hit the embroidery button. So let's do that. And now it's going to tell you to do a bunch of things, like please take the hoop off, listen to your machine, go ahead. Now watch it calibrate. And it's actually gone back to your screen because now that it's done calibration, it's ready for you to actually position the design. Alright, now I'm going to station the camera and I'm going to show you what I do next. I really hope I'm able to show you very well from this point onwards. So now I'm going to actually hoop my garment onto my, so I need to push this through the freehand system so it goes completely through. Sorry, this is the orientation, right? So yeah, just push this through. There we go. So I'm here, just gonna plug it in. So it's sitting pretty much there. Gotta make sure that nothing is underneath so that I don't sew garment into the fabric. Let's come to the medium hoop and then we're gonna hit the center button. There we go. So medium hoop, center button. Now when I actually come to the movement tool, I've actually noticed I have to rotate the design. So before I come to movement, let's rotate the design by 90 degrees. Now that I've got the center target on, I have aligned it the right way, I need to go to the movement tool. And now when I move this till I actually hit that spot that I want to hit, I can always adjust size in a bit. I'm just going to put the needle down. Perfect. This is my new position. As you can see, the machine is telling me that the design is kind of out of bounds. So I'm going to reduce the size a little bit further. Still 95%. I can go all the way down to 80, no problem. There we go. Can you believe it's exactly at 80 it stops? So not bad. So what I'm going to do is, it's literally free will at this point of time, guys, is I'm just going to move the design a bit down. So So instead of being there, I'm being a little lazy. It's my shirt. This is completely a demo exercise, so I don't mind if it's just that much down, because then I get to literally just increase the size to about a 82, 83. So it's a more confident size for me, okay? Alright, so now I'm okay with the positioning. I'm okay with the hooping. Nothing on the bottom. I'm actually really good to go. So I'm going to take off this measurement. Yes. I'm going to go straight to embroidery. Today's embroidery is going to feature only 2 thread colors. I decided that I'm going to be doing a combination of red and black thread. So it looks pretty much in line with Bernina branding, which is, I don't know, it's what I feel. It's not deliberate. So I'm going to go ahead and hook the thread, and then I'm going to switch off the light and take you through a quick time lapse of this design, and then hopefully you guys are going to see a beautiful result at the end. This demo was not about what a Bernina can embroider. It was more about how you can hoop your t-shirt fabric. So whatever machine you're sewing with, I recommend you to try these stabilizers and this hooping method and these marking methods, and see if you're able to find more joy and accuracy in your embroidery. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow the Classic Quills YouTube channel, and keep sending us information on what you would like to see next, so that we can keep you constantly educated. Have a good time embroidering, guys, and see you in the next video.